wait for you guys for this one. We got a big one. Enjoy. Woo!
Hey, we on? Where's the music?
Music.
Welcome.
Oh, you didn't hear the music?
Yeah, it's okay. You're rolling it. It's good. Welcome, everybody, to Season 3, Episode 2 of Florida's favorite hockey podcast. As the man, producer Ben Castro said, the producer to the stars. The associate producer is Eric today. We'll get him on the camera if we can. He's always excited. Oh, brought to you by Beach House Pompano. There he is. That's the man. That's the man. Brought to you by Beach House Pompano, Coolbet Canada, and Unbridled Weddings and Events. Voted top 10 in the USA for wedding planners. Check out Bree in Wellington and make your wedding stress-free in South Florida. We got a very special guest today. Jersey Jim is here today from NHL Full Press. Where are you from, Jersey?
I think I'm from New Jersey, right?
Somebody said Kansas. Jim Berenger here from NHL Full Press at NHLRumors.com as we get ready. It's a very special show. We're live on YouTube right now on a game day. The Panthers are home tonight to the Philadelphia Flyers. The Lightning host their season opener and home opener against the Ottawa Senators. And we're live on YouTube, as they say, as we're excited to bring viewer questions. Get in as many questions as you can and comments, and then Ben likes to read them. Or at least we like Ben to read them. I don't know if he likes doing it or not. But Jimmy's been down here for opening week. You were here for the Blackhawks and the banner-raising ceremony on Tuesday night, and that was pretty nice. A 3-2 Panthers victory. You enjoying yourself?
I am enjoying myself. It's a great time here, up in down here in Florida, Boca area, but down in Sunrise, the people down here treating me well. The Panthers always treating me well. I got to be here where the season ended last year, and we started new, and it was a great time with banner raising going up and the Panthers winning a home game. Well,
we are not even a week into the opening week of the NHL season, 25-26. We're just a couple of nights in. My picks that I make every day on the Daily Rod Peterson Show, which runs across Canada on Game Plus TV and across Nevada on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network. I'm getting the crap kicked out of me on my picks, Jim.
You ain't the only one.
You too?
Yeah.
Okay. Why do you think that is? Like these games, we're in the opening week, man, and I'm going based on last year's teams. These are new teams. You know what I mean?
They are. No, they very are new teams. And look, we base some of our picks on guys that play the night before. They don't look great. So we're like, okay, you know what? Maybe they won't bounce back. Maybe they'll still be the same. I look at LA going into Vegas, for instance, right? We're like, LA didn't show up against Colorado. It's home opener. But they go and spoil the party in Vegas. Same with Calgary, Battle of Alberta. You never know what's going to happen. And same thing goes for the Panthers with the banner raising. You're not sure because, you're celebrating something that happened last year, and you should close the book on last year. Chicago came out and played really good 2 periods, but then the Cats found their way and found their game.
And won 3-2. And by the way, if it wasn't for Spencer Knight, who I had the great chance to talk to after the game, it would have been 6 or 7-2. But it's funny, I should have... We've been sitting here for half an hour waiting. I should have sent Ben some photos to air on the show because I had one with the infamous Caesar. I had one with Phil Pritchard, the keeper of the cup, with the Stanley Cup the other night. And I don't know if you saw the NHL tweeted a photo of the Stanley. Actually, I think it was the Stanley Cup Twitter account said, "I'm back on the market." What a slut!
It is. They're back on the market because we're going to crown a new champ this year. Maybe not. Maybe it just stays down in South Florida. You never know.
I've got a bunch of questions that have come in from the viewers. I teed them up on this on our Instagram story. We do it all the time. What questions do you have for us? And before I get to those, we got to go back in chronological order. Speaking of photos, I really meant to give this one to Ben Dare of me and my neighbor Fish. I took him to his very first ever hockey game Saturday night. The Brawl for It All. What do you got?
I think I have. Is it on your Instagram?
Yeah.
Is it this right here? I'm just gonna.
Come on, you got it?
Is this it?
That's Fish. That's my neighbor, Fish. I talked to today. Born and raised South Floridian. He's got his Miami Hurricanes bomber on. It's the first time he ever wore it because it's so cold at American Bank Arena. 312 penalty minutes, 17 ejections, and he's like, is every game like this? Good job, Ben, by the way.
No, it's not like that. Sorry, Fish. Sorry to break your heart. It's not like that. The Brawl for All, the Brawl to end it all, whatever you want to call it, WWE phrase, Brawl for All. The war to settle the score between these two rivals. I mean, Tampa and Florida, best rivalry in hockey right now. You got to love it. Again, was it necessary in the preseason? No, that's just my opinion. But fans enjoyed it, and clearly social media enjoyed it as well.
Well, some of our questions that have come in from the viewers have to do with that, but I never seen anything like it, and it wasn't patty cake. That was some dirty stuff going on out there. And I'm surprised somebody didn't get hurt. Suspensions came out of it. The Tampa Bay Lightning were fined $100,000 as a team, and head coach John Cooper was fined $25,000. I never ever did see if he made a statement on that.
No, he didn't. No statement, no nothing. They just let it go by, and guess what? We moving on, and that's what the teams do. They just move on. Hey, we're going to just donate the money to a nice charity for the PA, and all right, off to the regular season.
You know what? I'm going to jump into it right now. Bure 1096, you know him, Nick Fairbanks. He, from time to time, co-hosts this show, and he will be, despite moving to Minnesota. He says, it wasn't from Bure 1096. It was Stacy. Stacy wrote in, and she said, do you think the Brawl game will roll over into the regular season? And I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't think Saturday night would happen because there were fights in Tampa 2 nights before that. I didn't think it would carry over. It very rarely does. So I guess her question is a good one. I really have no idea if it's going to carry over into the season series or not.
I'm going to bet that the NHL is going to have a lot of people watching that game, and to make sure what happened on Saturday night doesn't happen in the regular season. And I'm going to be honest, there may be one fight just to clear it all, but to see 200-something penalty minutes, 300-something penalty minutes in a game in a regular season, these teams know how important 2 points are. We're not going to see that kind of stuff.
So you would vote no, it won't roll over, and I don't think it will roll over either. Now, as we get rolling here, we have some viewership going up. JC is watching in Dallas. I'll handle this one, Ben. It's a quickie. He says, hello, nice to see you all. It's nice to see you, JC. In this business, it's nice to be seen. But if you've got questions and comments, it makes the Cats and Bolts podcast roll a little easier. We want to talk about what you're talking about. And we'll come back on Gary Bettman's news conference the other night that Jim and I were a part of at American Bank Arena. He said, I like Gary Bettman, by the way. Do you?
I love Gary Bettman.
You love Gary Bettman?
I love Gary Bettman. You know why? Well, first of all, he lives around the area, so I give him some slack. He gets brownie points from me.
Like here in Boca?
No. In Jersey area.
Okay.
I'm not giving out locations, but he's a resident of the state, so I like him. But what he's done for this game, and he doesn't get the credit that he deserves, but the way hockey has flourished in Florida, guess what? He deserves the credit for this. And what we've seen from Tampa, from Florida, from the Sun Belt state, got to give hats off to Gary Bettman.
There's the clip. Racket. Write it down. Jersey Jim is a fan of Gary Bettman, as I am too. He's always been really nice to me. I met him in 1999 for the first time, but I'll come back to his comments in that news conference. Ben, we have a couple of comments. Would you mind reading them out, please?
Not at all. All right, so we got in our live stream, we got Brent, what is that, Woltman?
Yep.
AJ Greer will answer the bell, and it will be done.
Ding, 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 ding.
ding.
Basically saying AJ Greer will end it.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Yeah, and what else?
And then we got JC. I don't think it will roll into the regular season. However, it may meet. I'm sorry, if they meet in the playoffs, I do think the bad blood will spill over.
You know, why would I not be so? It's the Cats and Bolts podcast. And we're talking about the Cats and Bolts brawling to the tune of 312 penalty minutes, and I can't remember the exact amount of ejections. I guess this would be the show to talk about it right here, right? So Gary Bettman said in the scrum, he goes, that's not part of the game. He goes, we addressed this as a league already on Monday. Basically, I don't want to talk about it anymore. But it's like, I was sitting beside a guy in the press box. I'm not going to say his name, but I said to him, they put on the split screen, just like they do with me and Jersey Jim here. They put up a John Cooper and Paul Maurice. And they're both standing, yeah, just like that. But just imagine two better-looking guys, John Cooper and Paul Maurice. And they're standing there very looking like hockey coaches, right? And I said, what do you think they're thinking, Jeff? That's his name. And he goes, on the surface, not liking it. Deep down, loving it. Do you think? Well, it's a rivalry now, man. This is what the NHL wanted. What did you think was going to happen?
What do you think was going to happen? Fighting. That's what was going to happen. And especially when you put AHL lineups in when you're on the road, that's a little bit of a problem. Guys want to make statements. Guys want to prove themselves in the National Hockey League. But go back to Gary Bettman. everybody points to, oh, I hate this divisional rivalry and this divisional playoffs. Well, guess what? You know where Tampa Bay and Florida born rivalry? In the playoffs.
Of course.
So
4 times in 5 years. This is exactly what you're going to get. Now, this Brent that's writing in, I was with him at Amerint Bank, or what is it now? Benchmark International Arena in Tampa. I was there in the playoffs. There was fights in the stands at the end of Game 5. We don't want that. But the thing is, you're going to ply them full of booze. What do you think's going to happen? So, yeah. And the other thing from Bettman in that news conference, before we move on, he said that the outdoor games, the Winter Classic games here, are almost sold out, and to watch for information on that. So there you go again. South Florida's the place to be.
It always has been. I mean, I said it last year. Actually, I said it 2 years ago when the Panthers won their first Stanley Cup. I wrote about it. Florida is the new state of hockey. Think about it. Did we ever expect to see 2 outdoor games within a month of each other down in Florida?
I don't think there would be one, period.
Yeah, so now...
Well, I think there'd be one, let alone 2 within a month, yeah. From the audience, Joshua Dorr writes in, he says, "What's going on, Rod? Who's the new guy?" This is Jersey Jim from NHL Full Press. He's just down doing a Southern tour. That's all. He's here for 3 games this week, and that's it. It was nice enough. You'd like to stay for 3 weeks, or you got to get home?
I mean, I would love to stay for 3 weeks. I don't know if my mom, who's watching right now, would like that too much.
Okay. So Jersey Jim from NHL Full Press and NHLRumors.com. We're going to have rotating co-hosts here on Cats and Bolts, so thank you so much. Joshua Dorr says, "What's going on, Jersey Jim?"
What's
now you
going
know.
on?
Now you know. And Brent from Wellington, Florida writes in, and he says, "How many penalty minutes were in the Battle of Alberta last night?" I don't know, but I don't think they were brawling up there. The Oilers got up 3-0, blew it, and ended up losing to the Flames 4-3 in a shootout. I feel like that might have been a facetious question. Let me get back to this viewer comments, and then we'll continue with the live stream. I like how they're thinking, Jersey Jim.
Me too.
We got a lot going on here, Ben. Are you good, Ben?
Yeah.
We got a
I'm
lot
good.
going on.
We got a lot going on.
Yeah, especially for just episode 2 of the season, for the love of God. Here on Florida's favorite hockey show. Hockey Girl Boy wrote me. And I got a special relationship with Hockey Girl Boy, and I don't want to necessarily say what, because Hockey Girl Boy probably doesn't want you to know. But Hockey Girl Boy sends me photos from games in Tampa, so I can pretend that I'm there. Okay, for our Instagram feed. So thank you. And I said, how can I make it up to you? And Hockey Girl Boy said, I'll think of something. So I appreciate all of our Tampa viewers that tune in here every week for Cats and Bolts. And I've promised you more lightning. There's a lightning great that lives in West Palm. I got his number, and I've been reaching out trying to get him down here to the studio. Haven't had a lot of success, but I'm working on it. But anyways, Hockey Girl Boy says, who do you think will win tonight? Lightning or Senators? Why just put that on the tee and hit it out?
I'm going with the Lightning, home opener.
Yeah.
The Sens, I know they like to spoil the party, but Tampa Bay at home, really good team. Vasilevsky, you got Kucherov there, Braden Point, go down a list, Hagel, all those guys. Something about playing down in Tampa, very tough building to play in, especially for a team like the Senators. I expect Tampa Bay to win tonight.
Brent was very nice to send me FanDuel's win projection total for win projections for the season, and I actually have it here. And if you believe in the betting odds, they're not normally right, but it's fun to talk about, right?
Yeah, it is.
They've got Tampa Bay as number 1 winning the Atlantic Division this year. Tampa Bay with 104 points.
I had Tampa in my Atlantic Division preview. I have them winning the division. I don't see who's better than them right now.
They got Tampa 1, Leafs 2, Panthers 3, Senators 4, Canadiens 5, Sabres 6, Red Wings 7, Bruins 8, which brings me to Rat Trick Jerseys question. And thank you, Rat Trick Jerseys from down there in Miami, writing in and saying, do you see any of Ottawa, Montreal, or Detroit leapfrogging the Panthers and Lightning?
I got Ottawa leapfrogging Florida.
Wow.
They're going to finish 3rd in the division. I think Florida's still going to make the playoffs. The Panthers just don't care where they finish. It's proven. Last year, the Stanley Cup final, we had 2 third seeds make the final. So, to me, the Panthers don't matter where they finish. They're still going to be there, but I think the Senators are going to be a better odds to finish 3rd in that division. I don't see Montreal doing it, and I definitely don't see Detroit doing it. I think Detroit and Buffalo are missing the playoffs this year.
Which, out of all the 32 teams in the NHL, I'm cheering for the Panthers the most. The Red Wings the most, just because of what their fans have been through. I really love Stevie Y, and it's you got to break through at some point. Boston, I don't care about Boston. You've had your run, and I know Detroit's won more Stanley Cups in the last 30 years than anybody else. They've won 4, but I just feel like I have what do you call it?
Asphyxiation.
Yeah. How about an affection for Red Wings fans? Eric, are you going to read a comment for me? Are you going to jump in here and do this or no? Are you ready to do this?
I'm ready.
Okay, can you put yourself on the camera? That would be even more fun. There's something about long hair here that I like in that's Eric, everybody.
Hold on.
Making his Cats and Bolts debut. Okay.
Boom.
The very last one from
JC?
Ben really butchers these words. I'm interested to see what you can do with them.
All right.
Yeah.
JC, if the Panthers make the playoffs without replacing Barkov, hope I said that right.
If you can't say Barkov, man, we're okay.
Looking at kind of a side
Yep.
angle here. But even if they get bounced in the first round, would Zito finally win his first?
Dude, you're 2 for 2. That's
Got it
upstairs,
right?
bro. See, it fits, Ben. It fits. Well, can you read the last two as we sit here?
Would he finally win his first? I'm not sure what a GM of the
GM
year.
of the year.
His first GM of the year.
Okay, and then read the one from Joshua and then
We have
Brent.
Joshua Dorr. I root against the Red Wings because of our friend.
Nobody knows that but me and Josh. I got you, bro. That's upstairs. And Brent, the last
We
one.
got Brent. In my eyes, the vision really has not changed with the exception of
Marner.
exiting TO.
Dude, you're crushing it. You're crushing it.
I was
What's
waiting
your
for this.
accent? You're New York, New Jersey?
New York,
Yeah, New York. How long you been
New
down
York.
here?
most of my life.
Okay. Shout out
Close to my life.
212.
Yep.
Okay.
Shout out.
Good job, Eric. Nice. Well, I've got the Leafs dropping 5 to 10 points with the absence of Mitch Marner. Although they did slap around the Montreal Canadiens in the home opener 5-2 last night. But again, it's one game. It's one game.
Can't overreact to one game, right? We look at other sports too, right? I can't overreact. One game, their offense still looking good. However, like you said, Marner not there. Let's see who they replace it. Is it Matthew Nyes? Is it Michelli? A guy like that? But I still think Tampa number 1 in that division. Toronto right behind them as well. So it's going to be interesting to see. But again, I got the Bolts up top.
You got Bolts number 1?
Yeah.
Well, they'll be happy to hear that over in Tampa. And I guess while we're on this, and man, did Eric crush the Barkov pronunciation. Bure 1096, our man Nick, says, when will the absence of number 16 Barkov and number 9? Oh, we should throw a Kachuk at him. We should throw a Kachuk at him. Producer Eric. No. Number 19, Matthew Kachuk, and number 16, Alexander Barkov. When will their absence be felt? Could be tonight. You're talking about 2 of the best players on the team.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a number 1 center, right? Guys won the Selke Award back-to-back years now. 2-way center. You're talking about a physical winger that could drive play as well. I mean, look what he did in Game 6. Scores this goal. He barely can skate. Just skated right into the shot. Goals in the net. Look, they got Bennett, 1. They got Anton Lundell, number 2. I've got Lundell as a guy that you're going to want to break out this season. He's an offensive guy. He's got the talent. I went back, actually, Rod. You'll like this. I went back and looked at Anton Lundell's scouting reports from 2020 from the NHL draft, and every scout talked about heading into the draft his offensive ability and his two-way game. Well, we know about his two-way game. We know how great he is defensively, but we're going to finally see his offensive output, and the other night he rang one right off the bar at the end of the first period. That is a shot I have not seen since he played in the World Juniors for Team Finland or at the World Championships. That's how defensive-minded he's been for the Panthers.
I don't know if it's confidence or what, but he's a different player coming back. So you can read that at NHL Full Press, by the way. That's where I read it.
Yeah.
Great article, Jimmy.
Thank you.
Let's get the comments rolling, everybody. We're into the final third already of this live stream today. People are they're punchy. They're into it. I like it. And with regards to JC's comment there, will Bill Zito finally win his first GM of the year? Here's what I think about that. He doesn't need to win the GM of the year. He's built a team that's been in the Stanley Cup 3 straight years, won the last 2. I'm sure he would like it. I've won awards, Jim. I'm sure you've won awards. They feel good, but they don't feel anywhere as good as winning the whole thing.
As Patrick Waugh says, He's got his 2 Stanley Cup rings plugged in his ears. I don't think he cares about the Jim Gregory Award.
Yeah, no, and I mean, who's won it the last 3 years? Jim Nill? And what have they done? I'm not saying he hasn't done a bad job. They're always there in the end, but they haven't won anything. So Panthers fans, do you know this? They're very upset
Yes.
at Zito not winning GM of the year.
Yes, I felt it in the offseason. I felt it going into the final when they announced it. How come Bill Zito didn't win? Guys, relax. He won the Stanley Cup. His name's on the Stanley Cup twice. Everybody knows he's the best GM in the world and the best GM in NHL. The league knows it. The teams know it. He doesn't need the award. Everybody knows it.
Okay, Eric, we're going to put you on the spot here. He loves it. Producer, put yourself on the camera too. This is a team effort here.
Gotcha.
Okay, the last 3 comments. Would you read it?
All right, we have T from the TO3. What up, peeps? What up, T from the TO3?
Right.
We got Kevin Z, hot take. Lundell with 3 points tonight.
We'll
How do you
see.
feel about that? And we got Joshua.
Yeah. Basically says the Cup is the GM of the year.
Cup GM of the year. And he says the fans are more upset with Zito.
They're more
He's
upset than
losing a lot
Zito
of
is
sleep
about
over
it.
it.
Yeah.
I mean-
Yeah, I get the sense that he just literally doesn't care. He's got bigger fish to fry than worrying about winning an award. The Stanley Cup is the thing. And okay, well, Brent says to me one thing. Brent, are you purposely trying to screw up Eric? Because this isn't fair. You're screwing me up. He says one thing you didn't mention is the amount of wild card teams versus Eastern Conference in the odds. Right? I mean, that's not even fair, what you're saying. But
A little confused.
it's basically going by point totals. None of it's going to matter. It's just a fun sort of guideline to go by. But I will say this here. I did have Stanley Cup final prediction. Jim asked me this afternoon, what do I need to be ready for? I'm like, anything, for one, because you never know what's going to happen here. But 2, just be ready with a Stanley Cup final prediction. And I'll go first with mine. Don't be upset here in Florida, everybody, because I don't like to be the homer guy. I said Winnipeg Jets, Carolina Hurricanes, Stanley Cup final. And I actually thought one of 2 things might happen. The world might blow up, or I might be committed for a straitjacket. Neither happened, but there was like no reaction. They're like, Winnipeg, Carolina, what? Could happen.
It could happen. Why not?
They're 2 of the top 5 teams in the NHL.
They are. I mean, they're bringing back pretty much Carolina brought back their entire team. Winnipeg, if Jonathan Tate stays healthy, has a number 2 center finally. Oh, by the way, they just re-signed and extended Kyle Connor 8 times 12 for $96 million.
Yeah.
They have the best goalie in the world still.
No. The best goalie in the world resides on our desk every single week. Sergei Bobrovsky. You can go from number 2 down. Homie not playing that game.
They have Connor Hellebuck, the reigning Vezina Trophy winner.
And then we got the 2-time Stanley Cup champ, just saying.
Exactly. But, hey, if he can get over his playoff demons, there's a chance, Rod. There is a chance. So I like that pick. I don't think it's outlandish because you never know when you get to the playoffs. And I know some people are going to be in my ears like, you can't say that. You don't. You know what? You have to have the breaks. And maybe Winnipeg finally learned how to lose in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Joshua Dorr says if Barkov comes back a couple months before playoffs, they'll be back there. If not, it could be right either way, Carolina. JC says the Canadiens are the team to fear in the East, as well as the Panthers, of course. One thing we've realized, and I don't know how this happened, but the top 8, it actually goes back probably a decade, but the top 8 on each side could legit win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Kind of started with the LA Kings doing it in 2012 when they came in as the 8th seed. Panthers did it when they went to the Cup in 2023 as the 8th seed, right? So to say who's the feared team, they're all feared is my point if you get in.
Yeah, but who's playing the hottest and who's playing the right way come down the stretch? Look, I don't think anybody wanted to play that Panthers team in 2023 coming in because they were fighting for their playoff lives. Same with those LA Kings teams that won in 2012 and in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be playing the right way going into the playoffs. If you're playing the right way and you get on a run like we've seen with Florida with some of these teams, look out. They can make a deep run.
Just a couple minutes left. One thing with viewers of the Cats and Bolts podcast, we like to keep it lean. We like to keep it tight, not these hour-long podcasts that put you to sleep. But Bettman said a thing the other day. You and I were standing right beside him. One of the reporters goes, Gary, how does it feel to be so successful with the NHL hockey in a non-traditional market? And I don't know if you were paying attention, but Gary's like, I don't like to call it the non-traditional market. And the guy's like, well, what do you prefer, a southern state? Well, it's been 30 years, and we're still trying to clarify. You and I had this debate earlier today. If you're playing hockey in the market, it's a hockey market. I don't care where it is. You can say Raleigh, you can say Anaheim, you can say here, whatever. How do you feel about Gary saying that?
I like what Gary said because he's right. I mean, look, it isn't originally when they came down here. Yeah, it's a non-traditional hockey market, but it's grown into a hockey market. It's become a state of hockey. All the kids are playing it. There's rinks everywhere. It's not like when I came down here in the late 90s, early 2000s playing roller hockey tournaments where there wasn't a lot of rinks around. This game has grown down here. It's become a hockey state. And the Panthers and the Lightning, from the success they've had, have shown it. I mean, look, the Panthers, came into the league around 93, correct?
Mm-hmm.
They went to the Stanley Cup final in 1996. Tampa then won a Stanley Cup in 2004. There's 5 championships down here. Yeah, it's a hockey state. It's no longer a non-traditional market.
No, and I'm going to be honest with you. I guess if you've never lived anywhere else, like JC's in Dallas, Brent's from Canada, Joshua Dorr, I don't believe, has ever lived anywhere else. What I particularly enjoy is the Canadian hockey fans and the media losing their mind about the Stanley Cup final being here for 6 straight years. They hate it. So please get over... call it whatever you want. I don't care. Whatever gets you through the night. But to me, I'm with Bettman. It's not non-traditional, but for those reporters who I think are born and raised here, they don't know the difference. I guess to them it is a non-traditional hockey market. To the reporters that are asking him that nonsensical question.
It is. I mean, look, you think about it. Florida's been a football state for how long? The U, Florida State, Miami. But guess what? Hockey's taken over because they're the best teams in the state right now. I think the football teams, outside the U right now.
You know what? It'll always be a football state. It's always going to be number one, just like hockey's always going to be number one in Canada, even if the Blue Jays go on to win the World Series here in a couple of weeks' time. Doesn't mean we can't carve out our own path. Why has this podcast been so successful? Because we know our shit, which, by the way, that's the one thing. When I started this, we didn't know what to talk about. We didn't know what the people here would think or would want us to talk about. That's why I opened it up to the questions. And it's Brent here from Wellington, Florida that said, you should do it live. Well, we stumbled upon it by accident last year, right, Ben? You want to wind this up with me? How the hell did we end up going live?
Man, what did we do? I remember just because we wanted to get it out faster.
It was game day or something in the playoffs.
And I was like, wait, why don't we go live? And we went live, and it went really well for the first time. And then, the rest is history.
All of a sudden, everybody's doing it.
Yeah, you literally started the trend here at Podcast.
We always are.
You know?
We always are trendsetters here.
We're trendsetters.
But I guess the point is, we can all love football, we can all love hockey, we can all love baseball. But the one thing here is, we're going to always be talking hockey every week and engaging with the fans between the shows on social media, and that's what we love to do. And our good friends, can we get the full shot? All right, let's do that again. Boom! Our good friend Jersey Jim showing up for 3 games this week. If there's people that you would like to see in that chair, let me know, everybody. DM me. You know that I'm easy to get a hold of, and I like to go back and forth with the viewers. And that's about it, because we got a hockey game to go to tonight. So great job, Eric. Everybody, you have been introduced to Eric, the producer, the associate producer, the big man, Benny. And we'll see you next week here on the Cats and Bolts Livecast.
Oh, I almost caught it. Oh, damn.
You did.
I did catch it. All right, guys. See ya.